So a couple of weeks ago, me and my friends had a Galentine's and we played Would You Rather. And one of my questions that I proposed was, would you rather a man that's broke, literally living paycheck to paycheck, but is super romantic, will spend his absolute last dime on you every time? Or would you rather a man that's like basically a provider? He has excess money to the point where he'll literally throw money at anything. He takes care of everything. He's a good father, but he doesn't do any of the like small gestures. He's not romantic whatsoever, not really thoughtful. He just like gets things done. It's just very practical. And literally every single person but one said the latter, basically saying like they would just rather a provider that's not romantic versus the man that's broke and just spends his last dime on the like romantic stuff. And honestly, like I've been seeing a ton of just more conversation around like choosing a lifestyle over the person that you like. Now, obviously, I would hope that the person that I like can provide me with a lifestyle. But in the case that like I am just like hyper focused on like the romance and little things, I'm good on it. But I'm curious, like, what are y'all thoughts? I know there's so many trade-offs with like both, but like I feel like there are other like sources of like happiness that like I can pull from. So that's kind of just like what I landed on. But like I would love to hear y'all like opinions on it too.
Carrie, question. Um, do you think that, all right, so I'm gonna ask you a two-part question. The first part is, do you think that women of yesteryear, when I say yesteryear, you could just say a previous couple generations, do you think that women of yesteryear was more focused on love or money or resources, or you could say lifestyle? And the second part of that question is to apply it to today. Do you think that most women today are more focused on the love and the romance aspect of it, this or stability?
Stability.
I mean, before even Kerry goes in, I personally believe yesterday's women and today's women both prefer stability. The difference is yesterday's women were not making as much money as today's women, so they were willing to work with a guy who made a little bit less money, you know. But today's women are not willing to work with a guy who makes less money than them or not as much as they would like because they're like, I already make that much money. I already make the 50K. So I don't need a guy who makes 50K too, because if that's the case, I might as well be by myself. They say those things all the time. So I believe yesterday's women, so back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, were willing to build with a guy from the ground up. Today's women, it's not going to happen because they're already making their own money. So they feel equal to a man. So if a man doesn't make much more, they don't want it. But let's see what Kerry says.
Which one? For the old people or the newer people or for both?
Both.
You
Yeah.
think that the women of yesteryear was more focused on stability versus the person that they actually liked?
Well, see,
Well, I think before Kerry goes, I know, I'm sorry, guys. I think a woman really likes a guy, really, really likes a guy who's stable. Unless you're tall, like a really pretty boy, like, very charismatic, something, you're popular, she will like you, but she will really, 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 really like you when she finds out you're even more stable.
she threw that in at the end because I don't. I think that
Or
doesn't
the
mean
person
that
that
you
they
can't
like
like,
more?
but
Person that they like more. Like more.
oh, see, that changes it because I do think that women have a tendency to focus more on like who they like, how they feel, and so you might end up picking somebody who's not stable because you like them. So she threw that in that threw me off. Um, but in general, I think that it's more important that the person that you like is stable and can provide than that they're romantic. So,
So, okay. So if you have to choose, I'm not going to make you choose either or. Okay.
okay.
I'm going to give you three options. And this is not for you, this is for most people or
Mm-hmm.
most women. A, the guy that's um, really romantic, but he's not stable.
Mm-hmm.
Really, a likable person, aesthetically pleasing, all of that stuff. B, the guy that is really stable and has resources, but don't really give a fuck about none of that romance shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then C, a hybrid of both, but not extreme on either side. So don't have as much resources, but is fairly stable and is not as romantic, or you may not like him as much, but has a stability, has some stability. So the guy in the middle, but he's never gonna be rich, right? Or he's
Okay.
never gonna be super resourceful, or he's never gonna do no extra. Versus the guy that's the homosexual, but he may couch surf a little bit. Y'all might go through a lot in your lifetime, but he definitely gonna love you.
Okay, you want to know my opinion for me or for women?
You can speak to either or. Molly, I'm
I'm
coming to you next.
I'm going with the super resourceful.
I actually agree with Carrie. Most women, if not, actually, I'm gonna say all women would rather a guy who has all the resources. They never have to wake up to go to a job. They never have to want for nothing. Even if he cheats, even if he doesn't buy flowers. Instead of sending the flowers on Valentine's Day, he'll send her a quick $10,000 to go take a trip with her homegirls. All women would rather that. The issue is they want that kind of guy, but they also want him to be romantic. They also want him to be listening. They also want him not to cheat. They also want him to be there all the time. It's like that kind of guy can't be there all the time. He has to make the money. So all women would prefer a guy who has all the resources, who's loyal, who's nice, loving, and everything. But we know they can't. No man can have everything. So all women would rather the kind of guy. But the issue is, very few women can get that kind of guy. And secondly, very few guys can have all that kind of money and be loving and there and have time and caring at the same time. But I agree with Kerry.
I'm happy Carrie said it before me.
What the fuck just happened?
That's what I'm going with. I can initiate the role. Okay?
Where did Carrie go?
She's just being a woman, bro. She's being honest. He can't believe that Carrie chose the rich guy. Come on, man.
Oh, what is wrong, Slimmy?
I don't understand what just happened to Carrie.
What's wrong?
She's just being honest.
She just flipped the script on everything she's been up here talking about.
No,
You ain't never been talking about no resourcefulness.
what you talking about? I've been talking about
love.
being broke.
No, I didn't say that. You be talking about love, family.
All of that is present.
Give me the money. You just
all of the love, family, all of that's present with us having all the resources that we need. Like, in fact, that helps me to enjoy the family and to love you more because I don't have to
She
worry
said he
about
was a good
anything.
father.
Yeah, she said good father. She based this totally on the romance side, and I can make up for that.
I'm gonna be honest. In fact, if you most of the so-called sexless marriages, very often those men are not making that much money. Because I believe for women, there's a thin line between a rich guy and love. In other words, those two could be interchangeable for women. So I know Slimmy is shocked the same way most men are shocked when they find out that for a woman's love, it could be interchanged with money. Meaning, she loves you because you have the money. But if the money isn't there, let's say a woman starts dating a broke guy, right? And she loves him because he's told whatever reason she loves him, but he's broke. If he gets broker, that means now he's even really more broke. She's going to stop loving him because I accepted you the way you were when I found you. You should have stayed at that level or, got more money or got better. But you're even getting broker? No, I'm not dealing with that. So the love will go. That's the facts.
Damn.
Yeah, I can get you to do what I want you to do and have you think is your idea. So I'll make you romantic.
Damn.
It just changed.
Molly, you heard the questions, you heard the narrative. I want to get your thoughts also. What do you think?
I would definitely take the stability over the romance because if I was focused on that, I could just date a stud and get stability and romance because they try to do both. So no, give me the keep the romance because especially if you're spending your last dollar on being romantic towards me, I don't want you to waste your money like that. Like if you're that, no, it's not that important. I'll take the stable man. I don't have to sit there and try to pull you, like make you into a provider, make you into something that you're not. I think women probably have always thought about stability, but I think back in the past, women probably focus on the man's stability more so than her own.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of women that will like build a man up, a lot of women that will go the 50-50 route. And, so I think women did put stability as a priority, but I don't know if it was focused on her.
What about the three options? The super romantic guy versus the very resourceful guy versus the guy that's in the middle that's never going to be really, really resourceful. And he's never going to be super romantic, but he has a little bit of a hybrid of both.
Even then, in my opinion, I still think most women, if given those three options, a rich guy who's not romantic, the guy in the middle who's both romantic but not super rich but not broke, and the guy who's broke but super romantic, I still believe if they had those three options, because with the guy in the middle, they may be required to pay some bills, whether they pay 20%, 30%, 15%, 10%, because he's not super rich. They may not do the expensive trips every now and then. They may not get the good, the nice car because he's in the middle. So I still believe that most women, if given those options, they will choose the super rich guy. They don't care about the romance BS in the middle. I actually believe that most women, let's say on Valentine's Day, they would rather get, Mr. Flowers and all that if they know the guy is out here earning money and he's going to spend it on her rather than a guy who does a fancy, nice dinner date, but they know he's broke. So.
Mm, give me stable, give me boring, stable, good dad, go to
Yeah.
work. There you go. You don't
Facts.
always have to buy me flowers and cards. You love me because I don't have to break a sweat to pay the bills.
Ta-da! And and that's how most women think and believe and feel. But obviously, some women get scared of, expressing that they really want a full provider man because some men will judge them or call them gold diggers. So some women just don't say it out loud. But if they had the opportunity, most women would prefer a man who makes all the money and gives them all the money and all the nice lifestyle over a romantic guy who's broke. It's just the facts.